folded hands. Bhakti swai stiratara bhagavan yadi syat दैवेन फलत दिव्य किशोर मूर्ति मुक्ति स्वयं मुक्तांजलि सेवते अस्मान धर्मार्थ कामगतया समय प्रतीक्षा. The economic development, sense gratification, liberation, all these type of mundane achievements will stand before you with folded hands if you have bhakti. So bhakti is ultimate achievement, and that bestows darshan of Krishna. And now, how to get bhakti? Bhakti can be obtained by sadhu sangha. Bhaktistu bhagavad bhakta sangyena parijayate satsangaha parapyate pumbi sukrute kurusanjali. Bhakti can be obtained by association of saintly persons, and you can receive the association of saintly persons only because of the sukruti of past life. So bhakti is very rare. Bhakti is really very, very rare. And only by this bhakti yoga, Bhagwan will bestow his audience to the devotee. And some people are able to see the personality of the sun. The sun is very effulgent. You cannot look at the sun. The sun is very, very effulgent. How can you look at the sun? The heavenly residents, they can look at the sun because their eyes are very special. So who lives in the heaven? Indra lives in the heaven. The Chandra lives in the heaven. The Ashwini Kumars live in the heaven. Varuna lives in the heaven. These are the exalted demigods who live in the heaven. But heaven is also not permanent place. Swargarkya vivasita raso dina yatteva lokan moksha peksha janeti janam kevalam klesha bhajan yoga abhyasa parama virasai tadrushi kim prayase. So we don't aspire for heavenly planet, but there are some demigods who are already in the heavenly planets, and they are able to look at the personality of the sun. So here Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj is telling that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has this eternal form which cannot be seen by material eyes or mental speculation. So this is actually the whole thing, actually Islam, Christianity and Hinduism. That is the difference actually. Why Hinduism is set apart? Because in Christianity and Islam, they do not accept the eternal form of God. They accept that Allah or Jehovah, they are formless. And that is where we differ. We don't, agree with them. Because we tell them that you are Allah or Jehovah, and we call him Krishna, the same God. God are not many, but we don't agree that Allah or Jehovah are formless. They are very beautiful. In Quran it is told, in Allah mena khala surati, that is and also in Bible it is said, God made a man after his own image. So here the whole thing is that God has a beautiful form. Venum Kwananda Maravinda Dalai Taksham Barhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govinda Madi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. He is playing flute, standing in the threefold bending form. All these things describe his form. His mercifulness is also described. Oh Baki Amstana Kala Kutam Jigam Saya Paya Rapiya Sadhvi Deve Gatin Dhartu Jitam Patanya Kamba Dayadu Shanam. He gives mercy even to the demoness like Putana who tried to kill him. So God has a beautiful form and very beautiful nature. He is very merciful. So, but we cannot see him by his material eyes or mental speculation. We cannot see God. Only by transcendental devotional service can one understand the transcendental form of the Lord. We have to render devotional service, loving devotional service to Bhagwan. Understand? And that loving devotional service is not so much described in other religions. For example, in Islam, they do namaz, they bow down to Allah in the direction of Makkah. And in Christianity, they stand on bow down, and they also offer prayer. Understand? Other than offering obeisances to the Supreme Lord, that is also okay. We do not, criticize them. Actually, we appreciate that. Yes, they are at least bowing down to the Allah or Jehovah, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We appreciate that. But then in Vaishnavism, there is so much devotional service available. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Arjanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. Remembering Vishnu. What does Remembering Vishnu means remembering the characteristics of Vishnu, his beautiful form, his merciful nature. Here Vishnu means Krishna, his pastimes. There are so many pastimes, so many beautiful forms, his holy abode, paraphernalia, his associates. All these things are not so much described in Christianity and Islam, actually. Obviously, there is some mention of some angels and archangel and Michael, and this and that. All these things are there in Bible and Quran also. Not denying that, but not very vivid description, not very elaborate description is there. So that's why those who are really seeking the truth, they graduate to Vaishnavism. There are many innumerable souls who were actually staunch Christians, but they became devotees of Krishna and they switched to Bhagavatam because they said that we never got the information which we are receiving from Bhagavatam in Bible or Quran. Understand? So this is the thing. This is actually very, very important that this is the Bhagavatam is the highest scripture. So the comparison is made here to the qualifications for viewing the personal features of the sun god. The sun god is a person who, although not visible to our eyes, is seen from the higher planets by the demigods. Now, this is what is Sripad Dandi Maharaj always talks about third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension. Suppose there is a two-dimensional problem. A two-dimensional problem you might have seen in trigonometry that there is a two-dimensional problem. So, two-dimensional problem is x and y. But once I was in engineering and I failed in one exam. I said I felt it because I was trying to solve the mechanics problems by two dimensions. And I bitterly failed in that exam. Then I wept like anything. I was morose. Then I got one book from Sham series or something, some British or English, British or American press. And it solved all the problems of mechanics, statics and dynamics using the third dimension, using vector analysis. So vectors means there are, that I, J, K vectors are there. I is for the x direction, J is for the y direction, and K is for the z direction. And I was able to easily crack all the problems of mechanics using the third dimension. I said, wow, this is like super. Understand? So I could easily crack the two-dimensional problems with three-dimensional approach. But when I was taking two-dimensional approach to solve the two-dimensional problems, I failed in that exam. Understand? So, if you want to solve the three-dimensional problem, then you have to go to the fourth dimension. You have to use the fourth dimension. Understand? And if you want to solve the fourth dimensional problem, then you have to use the fifth dimension. Understand? So basically, Sattva, Raja and Tama, the mode of goodness, mode of passion and mode of ignorance. Understand? So mode of goodness, mode of passion and mode of ignorance. And then there is one Turiya Guna. Turiya Guna means the fourth quality, which is beyond the three modes of material nature. So Bhagavan is called Turiya, beyond the three modes of material nature. So when we surrender to Bhagavan who is Turiya, who is beyond the three dimensions, three modes, then we can solve all the problems of our life. Understand? So scientists also doing so much research, and you can see fourth dimension how they discuss it, and I was just seeing this illustration on Google, and how this is the fourth dimension they're talking about. Understand? This is they may be using some mathematical equations for the fourth dimension. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that we have to solve the problems. Like, I have a problem and I cannot find the answer to it. I go to Sripad Dandi Maharaj. He tries to give easy solution to it. How he cracks it? Because he's using a higher dimension. He's using the spiritual dimension to solve our problems. I have seen many, many times that many, many complex situations he easily solves them. Because he's on a higher dimension. He's at a higher level. For example, when you fly, in the sky, then you can see how the Durban is looking, how Johannesburg is looking, where is what, which building is where. But if you are on the street walking, you cannot see the buildings everywhere. But when you are high up in the sky, you can see all the buildings, all the shopping malls, all the schools, all the auditoriums and all, everything you can see. So we have to rise higher. We have to rise higher. And that is what the Guru and Vaishnavas are doing. They are on a higher plane. And that is the plane of dedication. We are actually struggling with the plane of exploitation. And that's why the problems arise, because we try to exploit the material nature. And then we land in very big problem, and then we approach these Vaishnavas and who are situated on the plane of dedication. And that's why they are able to solve all our problems related to the plane of exploitation. So plane of renunciation and plane of exploitation, these both planes are problematic. And that's why we have to come to the plane of dedication. We don't try to renounce everything. Understand? Suppose I say I renounce my computer, I will not be able to give class. Understand? I say if I renounce my spectacles, I will not be able to read properly. So there is nothing to renounce, but I have to dovetail it. I have to, what is dovetail? You might have seen we are in engineering, and they were actually saying a dovetail joint. And that was the dovetail joint we are using in engineering very much. Especially in carpentry, we are told to do, one assignment was create one dovetail joint actually. And I was not very good at carpentry, very hard work. So the laboratory assistant used to help me to finish my assignment, otherwise I could have never got out. Anyway, dovetail joint is very, very like this. This is called dovetailing. Understand? So you can dovetail. There is one slot, another slot like this, and then they are fixing each other. Understand? So we have to, when they say dovetail, we have to dovetail like this. Strongly get connected to Krishna. Understand? Use everything in service of Sri Krishna. That is what is dovetail is. So here, every planet has its own atmosphere according to the influence of the arrangement of material nature. Now you see that every planet has its own atmosphere. Understand? Now we are living on this planet, and then generally we say, how much is the long time I have not studied physics or chemistry. But as far as if I'm okay, one ATM, one atmosphere pressure we are all underneath that, plus and minus, depending on what elevation you are, near the ocean, above the ocean, sea level or higher than sea level. Understand? So we are under that pressure. But on the moon, that the scientists who went there apparently, they say that moon there is actually very little atmosphere. Understand? That's why they say the sky walking. Basically, they say that we went there and we were kind of walking in the like this. So they are telling like this. But all actually, they could not have reached the moon. Understand? They could not have reached the moon, because most of the time, all they are saying is actually. Well, I'll give an example. That some photograph you see on the Google, that there is actually one astronaut, a person who flies, goes in the atmosphere. He's called astronaut. If he's American, if he's Russian, they call cosmonauts. Anyways, you see that the old glory, the flag of America, and it is wavering actually. It is wavering, and you can see the shadow. Actually, there should be two shadows. There should not be two shadows, but there are sometimes two shadows. Second thing is that you can see their footprints. How can they have footprints if there is no gravity out there? Understand? So the footprints are everywhere, the shoes and everything. And so many, it was all shot in some photo studio. There were so many sources of light, so there, there should be only one shadow, but multiple shadows can be seen. Understand? So many like this moon hoax. Not many Americans also believe that there is a moon. They don't really believe it, you know what I mean? And look at their thin costumes. Actually, do you think that that whatever the ultraviolet radiation or infrared radiation, I don't know, can be protected? They can be protected by this thin suit they're wearing, the white thing. The height of They said that the radiation is so intense, you'll have to wear 42 feet thick layered costume just to get out of the radiations. Understand? And they're wearing some simple raincoat or something, you know what I mean? Wind cheater. How can, this is height of cheating us, you know what I mean? Anyways, Sai Maharaj never believed it. A lot of people left his call in protest, and I don't think Gurudev also believed that. Sripad Dandi Maharaj certainly doesn't believe that they reached the moon. So the inhabitants of earth may be able to reach the moon, but the inhabitants of heaven can reach even the fiery sphere called the sun. So okay, let's accept that Neil Armstrong, Aldrin, and whoever it is, they reach the moon, surface of the moon. But how about the sun? They cannot reach the sun. Understand? The sun is very, very fiery. The sun is very, very hot. What will be the temperature of the sun? Cannot even imagine. But scientists will estimate using some method. They can estimate what is the temperature of the sun. Not that there. So they say that the sun's corona can reach the temperatures of around 1.8 million degree Fahrenheit to 3.6 million degree Fahrenheit. That is 1 to 2 million degrees Celsius. Our body temperature is like 101 Fahrenheit, 102 Fahrenheit. We are feverish. They say consult a doctor, take paracetamol or aspirin. Try to reduce your body temperature. 101 Fahrenheit, 102 Fahrenheit is called sick person. Our normal like 98.6 or something is the correct body temperature. And here we are talking about the sun's corona. The center of the sun is 1.8 million degrees. So that is the corona of the sun. But the photosphere is 500 times. Photosphere is not that hot, understand? But still it's way too hot. Actually, they estimate that the sun has a temperature ranging from 6,000 degrees Celsius. So they say that which is hot enough to turn gold, tungsten, and every metal on earth into gas. Means we are wearing gold ornaments, they will become gaseous. They all will evaporate as soon as reach the sun. Tungsten will also melt. Every metal on the earth will melt. And the temperature at the center will be 15 million degrees Celsius. We cannot generate anything on the earth like that. This is what the scientists are telling. Understand? And now in Tirupati, talk about Tirupati, all the time it's so hot out. Without fan, you cannot imagine staying in Tirupati. Understand? So this is the South India part. Especially Tirupati is considered very hot. So what is impossible for man on earth is easy for the demigods in heaven because of their different bodies. Now the bodies of the demigods are made of fire, so they can reach the sun planet. Radharani reached the sun planet. Understand? Radharani reached the sun planet. There is a story that how Radharani, in separation of Krishna, in some kalpa, jumped in Yamuna. Then Yamuna is the daughter of sun god, took her to the sun planet. Radharani can manage that because her body is spiritual. So sun temperature cannot affect us. So we have to get a spiritual body or a heavenly body, at least. So inhabitants of the earth may be able to reach the moon. So what is impossible for man on earth is easy for the demigods in heaven because of their different bodies. Similarly, to see the Supreme Lord, one must have the spiritual eyes of devotional service. Now, this is what is actually we're talking about. To see the God, you don't need material eyes. You need spiritual eyes. Understand? Now, we are talking about a Bilvamangal Thakur. Bilvamangal Thakur was actually a blind poet and devotee. He had blinded himself. But he could see Bhagwan. Understand? Surdas also could see Bhagwan. Now you see that this picture, this particular picture, very wonderful picture actually, where Krishna came to Bilvamangal Thakur and he said that, are you from South India? He said, yes, I am from South India. I heard the Brahmanas from South India are very good poets. Yes, and that's true. We are actually, we are good poets, Brahmins in South India, good poets. I am a Brahmin. Bilungal Thakur told him. And Krishna told him, hey, why don't you start glorifying Krishna? But Krishna never told that I am Krishna. He told, I am just a boy going to Vrindavan, and you catch this stick and I will take you to Vrindavan. Now, Bilungal Thakur was walking behind Krishna and he was reciting this poetry called Krishna Caritamrta. There is a very wonderful picture actually. You'll see that here Bilungal Thakur is a blind poet. He's actually walking behind Krishna. Krishna is telling him, catch my stick. Yeah? I will take you to Vrindavan. You have no eyes. You have blinded yourself with the hairpins of that merchant's wife. I'll take you. So here, and then he's telling, Ha hanta hastapatha duramoho ki metat. Oh Krishna, you can escape my grip of my hands, but you cannot escape my heart. So see, Bilungal Thakur is walking all the way to Vrindavan. And he sang this poetry on the way. Chinta manir jayati soma girir guram me shiksha gurusha bhagavan shigibincha mauli yatpada kalpataru pallava shekhareshu lila swayamvara samlavate jai shri chikuram baharam niralam brahmaram mrudulam vacanam vipulam nayanam adaram madhuram vadanam madhuram Chapalam charitam chakadanu vivo stoka viruddhamana mridula prasyanna mandasmita premodveda nirargala prasumara pravyaktaro modgamam shotram manoharam mridavadu lila vitho jalpitam mithya swapo upasmahe bhagavata kridani niladrisha. Amazing pastimes. He has no eyes, material eyes. How he is able to sing like this? And then this other great poet, Surdas, also had no eyes. He was actually a great poet. So you see that he is reciting some songs and Krishna is sitting in front of him and intently hearing what Surdas is telling. Understand? Amazing. This is amazing. And also, Surdas, one time, one pujari told him that, today I have dressed Krishna very beautifully. Please describe the glories of Krishna. He would exactly describe the glories of Krishna, his dress and everything. But one day Pujari kept Krishna naked, the deity of Krishna. And he asked Surdas, how is Krishna dressed today? And he said, oh my Krishna is totally naked today. He is in birthday suit, Nangam Nango. Nangam Nango means completely naked. How he was able to see? That is a heart. Remanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Radheshu Viloka Shama Sundaram Achimita Gunaswam Govindamadi Purushottamam. So we have to have the spiritual eyes of devotional service, not the eyes of flesh. The personality of Godhead is unapproachable by those who are habituated to speculation about the absolute truth in terms of experimental scientific thought, without reference to the transcendental violation. One time, I myself and Dandi Maharaj went to the Majestic bus stand. Now, this Majestic bus stand is so difficult to navigate, so much crowd. You don't know, even after 10 years or 15 years living in Bangalore, I still get confused in Majestic. Which bus comes, which platform. Understand? Even the person with two healthy eyes cannot navigate this Majestic even now. And there were one blind man had come to Majestic. Sripad Dandi Maharaj said, "Oh, why you have come here?" He asked in Kannada. He said, "I have come to meet my friend." The Dandi Maharaj was wonderstruck. He said, "Here, he has no eyes." And he said, "How about your friend?" He said, "My friend also is blind." Now, two blind men are coming to a very crowded bus stand to meet each other. Maharaj said, how in the world can you navigate through this crowd, understand, and meet each other? And they met each other. Means you see that they have inner eyes. Without eyes, they are coming to a very crowded place in Bangalore and meeting each other. Understand? This is the biggest wonder I have seen. Sripad Dandi Maharaj was also awestruck. He kind of quizzed him, interviewed him, asked him many questions actually. It was a very interesting phenomenon that how, despite not having the physical vision, both blind friends met each other. And also I have seen Hesarkatta, there is one, there near Ranganath Gaudiya Math, 4 kilometers from there. In Hesarkatta there is a blind ashram. Many blind men stay there. And they get down proper bus stop easily. Some help also is given to them, but they are able to reach the ashram also in the night. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, they are able to reach the ashram. I don't know how they do it actually. There are cricket matches. The blinds play cricket also. There are tournaments also. How they sense the ball and how they hit the ball, God knows. And and sometimes they preach you the philosophy also. Once I was, I'm always traveling by bus to Hesarkatta Ashram late in the night after preaching. And one blind man used to sat next to me, and then he was telling me about some philosophy, which was actually incorrect philosophy. But he was attached to that philosophy. So I kind of um, rejected his philosophy. I said, no, this is not the correct philosophy. But after a few months, maybe, or few days, again I sat next to him and he recognized me by my voice. I was speaking to the conductor and he recognized me. And he again tried to preach to me. How they have senses, understand? So they are very, very, Bhagwan is very powerful. So here it is told that the personality of Godhead is unapproachable by those who are habituated to speculation about the absolute truth in terms of experimental scientific knowledge. ज्ञाने प्रयासमुदपास्य नमन्तमेव जीवन्ति सन्मुखरितं भवदीय वार्ता स्थाने स्थितां श्रुतिगतां तनुवां मनोभिर्जे प्रायश अजितजितोपि तैस्सर्वज्ञा. So ज्ञाने प्रयास, by the mental speculation, I don't think we can approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead and see Him. But we have to hear Harikatha. The only way to have darshan of Bhagwan is by the ears. The ears are very, very powerful. So next week we'll have Rupa Goswami conference. Rupa Goswami conference is where Manjari Didi, Manjari Talent, as she is known as, disciple of Srila Bhakti-Vidanta Swami Maharaj, and Shiksha disciple of Srila Gurudev. She arranges the Rupa Goswami conference. This Rupa Goswami conference is an amazing conference where we discuss the philosophy of Srila Rupa Goswami, his teachings, his life, his stotras, the poetry he has written, and many scholars actually speak about it. And Sripad Dandi Maharaj also told me, you speak about the unity among the Vaishnavas as per Rupa Goswami. Because what happened that previously we had only one parikrama. There was only one parikrama. Srila Gurudev started. In Vrindavan also one parikrama, Navadvip also one parikrama. But this particular year, the bifurcation took place. Two parikramas began. So Srila Dandi Maharaj said that today there are two parikramas, then after a few years there will be 3, then 4 and 5. So we'll keep on dividing. So we should unite and have only one parikrama. That will please Gurudev. Because how long we can divide and how many groups we can have. If we cannot even have one parikrama, then how can we teach about unity to others? Understand? If the Vaishnava Sangha itself is separate parikrama, then what to speak of, So we should try to, discuss and try to find a solution that there should be only one parikrama. All devotees should be together, Harikatha, sannyasis and senior devotees can speak and others can hear. This is very, very important. So, Sripad Dandi Maharaj told me that in the conference also he speak about this topic, that unity among the Vaishnavas, as per Rupa Goswami, his teachings about unity. Srila Gurudev always talk about unity, harmony, how to stay together. Gurudev would be pleased if we have only one parikrama. So the personality of Godhead is unapproachable by those who are habituated to speculation about the absolute truth in terms of experimental scientific thought, without reference to the transcendental vibration. So without reference to the transcendental vibration. Anavrittitu shabdat, anavrittitu shabdat. The only way we can see Bhagwan is by the sound vibration. Let it be the holy name, let it be the Harinam, let it be the Harikatha, let it be the description of Krishna's pastimes, qualities, like this. transcendental sound vibration is very, very important. The ascending approach to the absolute truth ends in the realization of impersonal Brahma and the localized Paramatma, but not the supreme transcendental personality. There is actually Avroha Pantha or Aroha Pantha. Avroha Pantha means descending process, and Aroha Pantha means ascending process. So if you try to take the ascending process, you'll get some realization, but it will be the impersonal Brahma realization or the localized Paramatma realization. But by ascending process, by your own speculation, you cannot approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagwan. Bhagwan Tattva is not, Bhagwan Tattva can only be realized by hearing, submissive hearing Hari Katha from the lips of Vaishnavas. So text 20 here, Jnana Yoga Marge Tandre Bhaji Sai Saba Brahma Atma Rupe Tandre Kare Anubhava. Jnana of philosophical speculations. Now, philosophical speculation is actually going on. And example we studied in the school was actually an elephant. Actually, there are 6 blind men and an elephant. You might have heard this story. That how the 6 blind men they were trying to ascertain the shape of an elephant, and then everyone was trying to ascertain the way they want. Understand? And then what happened? The result is here. Understand? Oh, so you see that one blind man climbed on the head of the elephant and looked at the ears. Then he said, "It's a fan." He said, "It's a fan." Understand? Like a chamara, you know. The other man actually looked at his tusk, and then he said, "Ivory tusk," and then he said, "It's a spear." And then another man using a wall climbed his belly and said, "It's a wall. Elephant is a wall." Understand? And then someone caught the tail and he said, "It's a rope. I think it's elephant is a rope." Understand? So this is what it is. So you see that depending on their what they are looking at, they are touching. Another blind man, he went and he said he looked at his elephant's trunk and he said it's snake, big snake python or something. And then someone looked at the feet of the elephant, one lady, and then she said it's a tree. I think it's a trunk of a tree, you know. So all these blind men, they had different realization of the elephant. So that is what happens actually by speculation. Some people say like this, some people say like that. That's why we don't believe in our imperfect senses, but rather we try to hear from the authority. That is called descending process. And we do not take the ascending process of sensory perception. Trying to use our eyes, ears, nose, sense of smell, sense of sight, sense of sound, sense of touch, to ascertain the identity of God. They will fail. We cannot perceive Bhagavan by these senses. So those who walk the paths of knowledge, yoga, worship only Him, for it is Him they perceive as the impersonal Brahma and localized Paramatma. Those who are fond of mental speculation, Jnana Marga, or want to meditate in mystic yoga to find the absolute truth, must approach the impersonal effulgence of the Lord and His partial representative respectively. Such persons cannot realize the eternal form of the God. So some people follow the path of mental speculation, Jnana Marga. Some people try to meditate on Bhagavan in mystic yoga. They get Brahma realization or Paramatma realization, but not Bhagavan realization. Only Bhaktas, only by Upasana, worship, you can see Bhagavan. Upasana Vede Jani Ishvara Mahima Ateva Surya Tandra Diyeta Upama. Upasana Vede, by the different paths of worship, I know the Supreme Personality of Godhead's greatness. One must understand the glories of the Lord through different modes of worship. As the example of the sun illustrates. So we should try to engage in different types of modes of worship. What type of modes of worship offering a lamb to Krishna, circumambulating Tulsi, circumambulating the deity, offering obeisances to Krishna, cooking for Krishna, making dresses ready for Krishna, growing flowers for Krishna. All these things we do. These are all devotional service. Understand? If it is done under the guidance of the spiritual master, it is considered devotional service. Say Narayana Krishna Swarupa Veda Ekahi Vigraha Kintu Akara Viveda. Narayana and Shri Krishna are the same personality of Godhead, but although they are identical, their bodily features are different. Now Narayana is very, very clear. So Narayana is four-arm form. If you see the Narayana, he has Shankha Chakra Gada Padma in his four hands. Shanta Karam Padeva Shayanam Padmanabam Suresham Vishmadharam Padara Suresham. That is a description of Narayana. Narayana is the apparent aspect of Sri Krishna. Typically, you'll see that the Narayana is like this. He is also very charming, no doubt about it. This is Narayana. Understand? He has a Sudarshan Chakra in his hand, he has a Kaumudaki Gada in his hand. One hand has Shankha, Panchajanya, and he's holding a lotus also in his hand. Understand? And this is Narayana in Vishnu. But Krishna is very, very charming. Krishna is very, very charming like Narayana. Narayana is also very beautiful, pretty. But Krishna's beauty exceeds the beauty of Narayana. So that's why we want to serve Krishna in Vrindavan. Like this type of assembly is not possible in Vaikuntha. This type of assembly is not possible in Vaikuntha. Understand? Actually, there is one, I was seeing one particular group called, one application called Gokul Bhajan. Gokul Bhajan. And Gokul Bhajan is actually an application written by students of Bhakti-Vidanta. One is that devotee who donated the money for Bangalore farm. Bangalore farm. In that one, actually, he has written a bhajan. And in that bhajan, he has actually expressed a sentiment that I don't want to go to Vaikuntha. Previously, we all were very interested in going. And it is okay, I can go to Vaikuntha. But now, if they ask us, hey, do you want to go to Vaikuntha? I said, no. Rather, let me take birth on the earth and let me then practice devotional service and go to Vrindavan. I don't want to go to Vaikuntha because I will not be happy in Vaikuntha. I cannot joke with Krishna, play with Krishna, eat in the same place with Krishna, decorate Krishna there. I have to maintain awe and reverence. Some respect has to be maintained. That's why you see here Krishna is sporting with his covered boyfriends, and they are happily, Krishna is happily eating the laddu with them and sharing lunch, sharing the breakfast, joking with them. They are decorating Krishna. Krishna is also decorating them. Where will this type of fun be available in Vaikuntha? Vaikuntha is the land of calculation. It's a calculated land. You do this much, Bhagavan will do this much. Understand? But Vrindavan, there is no calculation. It's unlimitedly giving more reciprocation. Krishna can reciprocate so much more in Golok Vrindavan. That's why devotees, although they are given the residence in Vaikuntha, they do not accept it. They say, no, Krishna, please don't give us Vaikuntha. We will be happy if you can give us residence in Golok Vrindavan. Otherwise, we'll wait here on the earth planet, not want to go to Vaikuntha. Narayana and Shri Krishna are the same personality of Godhead. Like in India, I have seen, there are civil service exams. There is IAS, Indian Administrative Services, IRS, Indian Revenue Services. Then, like this, IPS, Indian Police Services. If you get the topmost rank, then you get the IAS. You join as an administrative officer. But if you get little lower rank, then maybe you'll become a police officer or, revenue inspector, this and that. Understand? But there are some persons, they get IRS and IPS marks enough to qualify for that, but they still appear for the exam again because they only want IAS. Understand? They only want the topmost. They don't want to go for the lower. They don't want to settle for the lower job. Understand? So like that also, the devotee of Krishna also, they only aspire for the highest, not try to go to Vaikuntha or to Ayodhya or Dwarka. No, they only want to be in Vrindavan with Krishna. So that is our. So Narayana and Shri Krishna are the same personality of Godhead, but although they are identical, their bodily features are different. Some bodily features are different. Understand? इन्होता द्विभुज तिहो धरे चारी हाथ इन्हो वेणु धरे तिहो चक्रादिक साथ. So the personality of Godhead Shri Krishna has two hands and holds a flute, whereas the other Narayana has 4 hands with conch shell, wheel, mace and lotus. So you see Krishna is very charming. He is holding only a flute. So Narayana is identical to Shri Krishna. They are in fact the same person manifested differently. Like a high court judge who is differently situated in his office and at home. And as Narayana the Lord is manifested with 4 hands, but as Krishna he is manifested with 2 hands. This is the only difference between Narayana. Krishna has 2 hands, Narayana has 4 arms. Krishna also has the same opulence as Narayana. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much everyone for listening to my class. I'm so happy that some audience is there, some recording is going on. They're putting on YouTube. Some are writing the summary gist. I'm so happy. Keep on doing this good work and keep on propagating Bhakti and Vishnu. Hare Krishna. Hare.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat from. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for giving us your time.
Jai.
And always coming on a class. I know you're so busy. And I heard you said you're going on travel. So I hope you'll be doing international travels as well.
Yeah,
to come to
actually,
these
Corona kind of put a full stop on our international travel. But now it is subsiding. I see that many Maharajas are traveling. They're again going here and there. So I think I'll also be one day able to go. But I am actually on a special diet now because Sripad Dandi Maharaj told me that you have to release your weight and also some swelling on my foot was there. So Maharaj told me that I will admit you to that naturopathy clinic, which means about 5, 6, 10 or 15 days of fast on honey and lemon. I told Maharaj that I will take only fruit and some raw vegetables so that my weight will reduce and my swelling also will reduce. So I'm feeling a little weak because we are accustomed to the cooked food and grains. But now I'm not taking any cooked grains, maybe little raw grains, raw, soaked, chickpeas. But it is already my weight, I think, is reducing. We are not accustomed to uncooked food, but what can I do? Um, that is what the naturopathy recommends, uncooked food. Ayurveda may say something differently, I don't know. There are very conflicting videos on YouTube. And so that's why I try to follow this raw food therapy now, which is cheaper also, some vegetables, boiled vegetables and fruit. I know many Maharajas do that, and always I am seeing some good result. My swelling has reduced. So I'll carry on as Sripad Dandi Maharaj has told me that try to, because health, Maharaj told health is very, very important. Without health, you are nobody. He said, your health you must take care. So he said, any amount of money, he has already admitted to me in the hospital twice. Once in Ayurvedic hospital, once in naturopathy hospital, to reduce my weight. But I always gain the weight again. The problem is that I try to eat whatever I get. Rice and white rice and all. And these naturopaths, they are actually very much talking against white rice. Because they say that white rice is polished rice, all the nutrients are gone, and these nutrients are fed to buffaloes because the chaff or whatever the coverings of the rice is fed to the buffaloes. The buffaloes are becoming stronger and men are becoming weaker. And men are getting only the polished rice, which is nothing but some powder, some flour is left. Nothing is there. No nutrient, all nutrients, all fiber is gone. If there is no dietary fiber in our food, then body cleansing will not happen. Understand? That's why the many naturopaths they said don't take white rice. Understand? But this is the only rice mainly available in Tirupati. Understand? So I said I will not take. I was taking red rice. Maharaj takes black rice. I had never seen red rice or black rice in my childhood. Only rice I knew was white rice. But the Lord has made so many types of grains available now, quality grains, and we should take advantage of that. Fruits are also there. The fruit has nitrous oxide, so it builds immunity also, and helps you cure the chronic diseases. Because I see devotees sometimes suffering is that and medical care is very expensive. Many times it is out of reach of the people for serious ailments. So dietary change is good way to actually help your health issues. That's why I could not speak longer today. Sorry, because some little tiredness. But anyway, I understand. And I'll be next week. I'll be giving classes, but maybe I'll go to Vrindavan because I have to make an effort for unity among the Vaishnavas so that only one parikrama will take place. It may look like a Himalayan effort, Herculean effort, but I'll try my best because Dandi Maharaj also has told me that you should try to create unity among the Vaishnavas. Maharaj is always for the unity among the Vaishnavas. He wants us all to unite irrespective of, because we are one single family of Srila Gurudev. That we should never forget. And Maharaj is very strongly believes that Srila Gurudev is the leader and we should always have one parikrama. So that is what his wish is there. I hope I'll try to able to convince them. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Vanchākar Patra Vishnu Kripa. Hare.
Thank you so much, Marge, and we'll pray for your speedy recovery. Also,
Thank you.
Marge, try to put a pillow under your foot and raise it up.
Right.
The swelling when you're sleeping,
Yes.
it may help.
Actually, what happens, Didi, that I read a little bit about it, and Shripa Dandi Maharaj has taught us that don't take refined oil. It has way too much cholesterol in it, how they process it. Maharaj was using the oil from the cold pressed oil, or like the Indian traditional way of extracting oil. Maharaj is very concerned about health, but all these things like these refined oils and all, they cause so many blockages in our body, and the blood flow is restricted. Then as a result, swelling is coming. Then I realized that how to clear the blockages, veins, arteries, all are blocked. Understand? The walls, everything. The body has so many walls actually. You know what wall is actually? Our heart has 4 walls. Understand? But because of this cholesterol and impurities, our body actually slowly cannot pump the blood to all the limbs and swelling happens. Understand? So basically, I try to understand what is going on with the system, why the swelling is coming. Then I realize it's all due to dirt accumulated. Understand? And then they're showing that how mild heart attack, Recently, one devotee, his doctor gave him shock to the heart, 3 shocks, to revive him, and then then doctor said we have to put a pacemaker and this and that. So heart surgery is very very common. My own biological father, um, also my father also left the world because of heart attack when he was 62. That is quite young actually. 62 is not the age to die. I mean, he could have lived up to 80 or 90. But the culprit is the cholesterol. And that's why we don't recommend animal foods in Krishna consciousness. Because animals can produce cholesterol. Understand? And plants have no cholesterol. That's why plant-based food is safer. And also another thing is that in the modern medical science, they teach you that all the fat, all the carbohydrate, and all the protein are all the same. Irrespective of what source you are getting the protein from, irrespective of what source you are getting the fat from or carbohydrate from, doesn't matter. They all are the same. But this is not correct assumption. The animal-based fat or animal-based protein, they are actually different shape than the plant-based protein, plant-based carbohydrate, other things. They are much superior quality. The nutrients you get from the fruit and vegetables are far superior quality than what you get from the meat. Understand? So that's why vegetarianism is, even from the material point of view, also vegetarianism is so important. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Pray to you. Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranams. Maharaj, nice talk you gave, Maharaj. Maharaj, I got a small permission, asking you permission and from Gurudev. This is my desire that I want to do for the month of Kartik. Okay, from Balaram Appearance Day, I want to start. This is my desire, Maharaj. I'm planning to do a traveling preaching. Traveling preaching in Natal, in my city. I'm talking about like northern Natal. I'll be traveling, Maharaj. And my mission is, Maharaj, that I'm going to preach not fully about Krishna conscious, okay? Because I'm mostly going to speak to the non-devotees. I want to speak to them about Agni Otra and the importance of Ekadasi. That's my desire that I want to preach about.
Right.
Take the Agni Hotra pot, and I'm going to personally go into their houses, and I'm going to show them how to do Agni Hotra. And I'm going to tell the importance of Ekadasi, observing Ekadasi, how to observe Ekadasi. And Maharaj, this is going to be, I'll be staying mostly in the ISKCON devotees' houses. Understand? Yeah. And then, Maharaj, they got a huge temple there in Ladysmith, where I'm going to be staying there and doing service for the Lordship. They got Lord Jagannath. I'll be cooking and doing arti and everything. And I'm going to teach them, Maharaj. I'm going to teach them because they don't know the philosophy of how to really worship Jagannath, how to do offering, how to do Ekadasi fast. So that's my mission, that I'm taking Vishaka with me. So from August, Appearance Day right till Kartik, that's what my mission is, to go and travel and go and teach that. So I'm asking your mercy and your blessing, Maharaj, to please guide me and help me with this preaching mission.
Right. No, that is wonderful. Actually, Maharaj also gave me some Agnihotra ashes. You see the big bag here, lying here, tied up here. It's my small room.
Yeah.
It's all Agnihotra ashes. And these Agnihotra ashes, actually, Maharaj told me that we are purchasing vegetables, we are taking fruit. But the fruit and vegetables have so much pesticides. Without pesticides, they cannot grow. So, if you soak your vegetables, Maharaj told me, in the water, which has this little bit of this vibhuti, this ashes, holy ashes, and also this little turmeric also. The Maharaj gave me organic turmeric also. Turmeric is very, very important. And then it will remove the toxins and insecticides, pesticides from the surface of this fruit you are eating. If you straight consume the fruit, then you are only taking this. So Agnihotra actually very good for skin also. I saw one girl, actually she had a skin disorder, and when her mother, she showed everywhere she showed that her daughter, and she was simply crying all day, all night, that what happened to the skin of my, there was very serious allergy actually. And then she started applying these Agnihotra ashes. She used to perform Agnihotra and applying the ashes, and the skin allergy was gone. And you would not believe the transformation. I will find out next time. I'll show you the picture. That before applying the ashes and after applying the ashes, so much change came. Another thing is that the addiction, because in the chemical dependency is very prominent in South Africa and also America. And my friends used to tell me that, he said, oh, everyone is taking drugs here. Everyone is on drugs. Everyone is high here. In our Los Angeles neighborhood, New York neighborhood. They used to tell like that. And but if they sit in the Agnihotra, slowly it helps them get rid of chemical dependence. So we have to teach them Agnihotra also and Ekadashi also. Ekadashi generally Namaprad. Sometimes I also become scared that you're telling the glories of the holy name to the non-devotees. It may be sometimes an offense just to glorify the holy name.
Yeah.
Ashadani, those who have no faith, explaining the glories of the holy name to the faithless person. Maybe so slowly we try to get them in our net by introducing Agnihotra, Ekadashi. So once they do Ekadashi, they'll get Sukriti. Although you cannot explain the glories of the holy name to a person who doesn't believe, non-believer, you can certainly explain the glories of Ekadashi. Understand? And if they do Ekadashi, whether you believe or Gurudev said, if you believe or don't believe, if you do Ekadashi, Bhakti will certainly come. So Gurudev says every person of every religion, every gender, every economic status must do Ekadashi, no matter what. So that is very good. So this is certainly a very blessed endeavor. Go ahead and do that. Slowly it may happen that they'll become devotees. And even if they don't become devotees now, they would certainly, by doing Ekadashi, they have gained so much sukriti that they will certainly get good association of some Vaishnava in next lifetime. And they will not have to go to hell. Knowingly or unknowingly, if you have done Ekadashi, then their sins are eradicated. Understand? And Bhakti will certainly come. So scientifically, we have to explain this. If we scientifically explain, they will agree to that. So I have written a book about Ekadashi also. Some scientific information is given in that. And also Agnihotra also. I have compiled a book. I will send it to you. You can read it also. Maharaj actually told me to write this project report and I wrote it and I edited it. Then Maharaj also put some inputs. So that project report, very big project report. And we have submitted to the government also for pollution, for control of the corona and other things. But Agnihotra is an amazing thing. Wherever Agnihotra is going on, that area will not have any suicides because of economic stress. Agnihotra is so powerful that it purifies all types of difficulties. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Divya. So please carry on. We are very good. We are telling. What you said was
Yes,
very
Maharaj.
clear.
So time to time, Maharaj, wherever I'm preaching, Maharaj, I'm going to try to call you. I'm going to try to call you, and maybe you can help me to just give them a small class on it, if it's possible.
Sure.
Check.
Agnihotra benefits are innumerable, but I'll try to tell some important benefits of Agnihotra and Ekadashi in a scientific manner, real life experiences.
Yes. Yeah, because I did try, Maharaj. I did try with few non-devotees. They actually took up fasting Ekadasi now, Maharaj. So that's when I had this realization that I'd rather go and preach about Ekadasi and Agnihotra. Maybe that will come, they become devotees one day.
Right.
So,
because if you straight talk about devotional service, sometimes they revolt. So you have to do indirectly by giving them prasad or harinam.
Yes, I do that.
Telling the glories of Tulsi or Ekadashi, something like that. Or scientific importance of cows. And these are all topics which are also connected to Krishna, because cows are also very dear to Krishna. Ekadashi also very dear to Krishna. Understand? There is no difference between Krishna and Ekadashi. Preaching about Ekadashi is also preaching about Krishna only. Because Krishna himself has become Ekadashi for our benefit. Understand? Whatever you do, even if you become a devotee and don't follow Ekadashi, then you will not be delivered. You will be delivered only if you follow Ekadashi.
Okay. Then Maharaj, then I will call you now and again, Maharaj, wherever I am, and if I see it's favorable for them to hear from you, then I will call you. I'll notify you early, and I'll tell you, Maharaj, can you come at this time? Would that be okay, Maharaj?
Sure.
Because I mean, I like someone senior like you to give a talk sometimes if I feel they are favorable, like
Yeah, whatever knowledge I have. Sure.
Yes.
Whatever knowledge I have share.
So I will call you on. I'll call you on Google.
I strongly believe in Agnihotra process. I strongly believe it.
Yes.
So many benefits
also,
of Agnihotra.
from experience, Maharaj, we do it every day at home. We do it every day at home, yeah. And I
Actually, what
felt
happened
that
in Mumbai,
Mm.
there was actually a very big flood. My brother's house also, so much water was there. Like Mumbai, a city,
Mm.
you see that was completely clogged because the water
Yeah.
from the ocean tide, high tide, enter into the city drainage, and the whole city was flooded. So
Okay.
Mumbai always prone to floods, like this situation.
Oh, Krishna.
There's so much floods
Yo.
there. And all the pipelines, they were actually damaged, and the drain water had entered the sewage water had entered the potable water pipelines. So what were people getting at their home was drainage water through the potable pipelines. So they, how can they drink? And without water, you cannot survive. Understand? You cannot
Yes.
supply packaged water to such huge population. 10 million
Yes.
people. How can you supply packaged water? And water is everywhere, but it's all drain water. It's contaminated water. So what they did, the Agnihotra enthusiasts, they had so much ashes. Every day Maharaj is doing Agnihotra for so many years. Maharaj also has sackfuls of ashes. He gave me about 4 or 5 kgs, like you see here in this.
Yes.
So every day you take a pinch of it and put it in the water. So that is what they started. They started distributing small sachets, the small packets of this Agnihotra ashes. He said, keep this. You get the drainage water, dirty, black, and then put a pinch of it. And the people started putting a pinch of it. After 5-10 minutes, all the impurities gone. Water is very clear and about ready to drink. All bacteria, viruses are dead. And then they realized this is something amazing. These Agnihotra ashes are so much purifying the water. Understand?
Yeah.
You see, that's one thing. Water also has memory. Understand? Water also has memory. In India, they worship the water utensils and this and that. Understand? So suppose you abuse the water will retain that memory. If you speak dirty things or you try to criticize someone, speak offensive words or untrue words, the water will memorize it. Understand? Water also has memory. But God knows what water we are drinking, where from we are drinking. But Agnihotra ashes is purified. Also the radiation, so much radiation is everywhere. Farmer suicide. In Ecuador, there were so many farmers who were committing suicide because they were not able to make enough money through farming. So they used to commit suicide. But once they started doing Agnihotra, profuse rain started coming. And because Agnihotra fire was creating a seed for the rain, and then suicides all together stopped. Understand? All together stopped. You see that this is not now a new thing. Many people, they suspected that this is anti-Christianity. This is some part of Hinduism and this Agnihotra. So we will not allow it because we are strong Christians. But then they were able to convince them that yes, this Agnihotra is beneficial and don't worry, it is not Christianity or anything, it is only for health. Understand? So you'll see that in Ecuador, so many people are gathered here and they are performing Agnihotra publicly. Ecuador. This is a South American country, understand? So like that, so many people are doing that. And the farmer suicides nil. No one is dying there because suicide. It's so beneficial. This is called Homa. These are the Homa. Also, in so many countries now they are doing Homa. There is actually in New Zealand also they are doing Homa. Because we want to heal the environment. It heals the environment. It produces the clouds for rain, purifies the atmosphere. That is what we can do for the environment.
Okay.
Very, very important. Agnihotra is very, very important. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you so much for your blessing, Maharaj. I'll keep in touch with you. Dandavat Maharaj. Ananta Moy? Mohan Prabhu? Jai Divani.
Shishi Guru Gauranga Gadarga Giridhari Ranga Vinod Vyari Ji ki Jai. Om Vishnu Pada Stotra Shasrimad Bhakti-Vidanta Vishnu Deity Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. ओम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नितिले प्रविष्ट विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत नारायण महाराज की जय। नितिले प्रविष्ट विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नितिले प्रविष्ट और स्तोत्र श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत महाराज की जय। नितिले प्रविष्ट विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र श्रीमद् भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नितिले प्रविष्ट विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। नितिले प्रविष्ट भगवान प्रभात गौरी कुसोदास बाबू जी महाराज की जय। नितिले प्रविष्ट श्री भक्ति की जय। नितिले बसर श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबू जी महाराज की जय। श्री गौतम वेदांत आचार्य श्री बलदेव विद्याभूषण प्रभु की जय। श्री विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर की जय। श्री नरोत्तम गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भात रघुनाथ जी गोपाल दास रघुनाथ सर गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर नाय रामानंद श्री गौर की जय। नमस्कार हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम सको श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसती गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। शांत द्वीप मणिपुर सीमंत गोविंद अध्याद्वीप कोला द्वीप ऋतुद्वीप भानुद्वीप द्वीप रूपद्वीप काशी नवद्वीप धाम की जय। श्री राम गोपा गोपी गोवर्धन द्वादश वनत्मका श्री वृंद की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गंगा यमुना तुलसी भक्ति श्री पौर्णमास योगमाय की जय। गोपीवार महादेव की जय। श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा सुदर्शन चक्र जीव की जय। श्वेत मंगल की जय। सर्व विघ्न विनाशकारी श्री महादेव की जय। भक्त प्रभार प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। चार धाम की जय। चार संप्रदाय की जय। चार छाया की जय। कर माता राशि की मात की जय। किसी केशव जी गौरी तक सकम समूहा की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। सामगात भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंद हरे हरे।
जय हनुमान प्रभु जी की जय। दंडवत प्रणाम। हरे see you next time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj.
Thank you. Dंडवत प्रणाम.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you all for joining today, and we'll see you all on tomorrow for Sripad Bhakti-Vidanta Dani Maharaj's class. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Dhanavad Param.